Chapter 1. Crop Production and Management. Introduction. You now understand that all living things need food. Plants are capable of producing their own food. Do you remember how plants produce their own food? Humans and other animals cannot produce their own food. What then provides the food for animals? But first, why do we need to consume food? You already know that organisms use the energy from food to carry out all of their different bodily activities, including digestion, respiration, and excretion. Our food comes from either plants, animals, or both. Agriculture. Where does all the food that we eat grow? Have you seen farmers working in their fields or people working in poultry farms? These are the people who work every day to make food. Agricultural crop production. A crop is what is grown on a huge scale of the same sort of plants in one location. For instance, the term crop of wheat indicates that all the plants cultivated in a field are wheat. You are already aware that there are various types of crops, including cereals, vegetables, and fruits. Based on the season they grow in, these can be categorized. India is a vast nation. Temperature, humidity, and precipitation all differ from one place to the next. As a result, different regions of the nation grow a wide array of crops. In spite of this variety, two major cropping patterns may be distinguished. They are Kharif crops. Kharif crops are those that are sown during the rainy season. In India, the rainy season typically lasts from June to September. Cotton, groundnuts, soybeans, maize, and paddy are Kharif crops. Rabi crops. From October to March, crops grown throughout the winter are referred to as Rabi crops. Wheat, gram, pea, mustard, and linseed are Rabi crops. Besides these, pulses and vegetables are grown during summer at many places. Agricultural systems. Crop cultivation involves a variety of tasks that farmers complete throughout time. If you grow attractive plants indoors, you might find that these tasks are similar to those performed by a gardener or even by you. Listed below are some examples of what are known as agricultural practices. 1. Soil preparation. 2. Sowing. 3. Adding manure and fertilizers. 4. Irrigation. 5. Weed control. 6. Harvesting and 7. Storage. Soil preparation. For growing a crop, the preparation of soil is the first step. Soil is the main medium in which a plant grows. The most important task in agriculture is to ensure the availability of vital nutrients in the soil. Secondly, the soil should be loose enough so that the roots of plants can penetrate easily. The loosened soil also helps in the growth of earthworms and microbes which help to make it fertile. Roots of plants absorb water, air and nutrients from the soil. Soil is prepared by plowing and leveling. Plowing. The process of loosening and turning of the soil is known as tilling or plowing. This can be done by using a plow. The process of plowing is important because it helps to trap air in the soil, allows the roots to reach deeper in the soil, helps the soil in retaining moisture for a longer duration, helps in mixing the nutrient-rich soil with the topsoil, helps in removing the unwanted plants known as weeds. The plow and other tools used for large-scale production of crops are known as agricultural implements. A plow is made of wood or iron and is drawn by a pair of bulls or other animals. It contains a strong triangular iron strip called plowshare. The main part is a long log of wood which is called a plow shaft. There is a handle at one end of the shaft and the other end is attached to a beam which is placed on the animal's neck. The original wooden plow has been slowly replaced by an iron plow. These days plowing is also done by tractors. A hoe is an ancient and versatile agricultural tool used to move small amounts of soil. It is used for weed control by shuffling the surface of the soil around the plants, piling soil around the base of plants, hilling, creating narrow furrows, drills, and shallow trenches for planting seeds and bulbs, chopping weeds, roots and crop residues, digging and moving when harvesting root crops such as potatoes. A cultivator is a type of farm implement used for secondary tillage. It has frames with teeth which are also called shanks. The shanks pierce the soil as they are dragged through it. A cultivator stirs and pulverizes the soil, either before planting, to aerate the soil and prepare a smooth, loose seed bed, or after the crop has begun growing, to kill weeds. Cultivators are designed to disturb the soil in careful patterns, sparing the crop plants but uprooting the weeds. Leveling. Even in plowed fields there are big pieces of soil known as crumbs. It is necessary to break these crumbs with wooden or iron planks which are known as levelers. This process is known as leveling. At times manure is added to the soil before tilling. The soil is watered after leveling and before sowing. Selection and sowing of seeds. The next important step is the process of selecting good quality, healthy and high-yielding seeds. Sowing is the most important part of crop production. While sowing seeds, few points should be kept in mind. Seeds should be sown at equal distance to avoid congestion and competition among young plants. If they are too close, they will not get enough nutrients for growth. Seeds should be sown at correct depth. If they are near the surface, birds will eat them. If they are sown too deep, they will not get enough sunlight and air. Sowing can be done manually by scattering and spreading seeds on the field. This is called broadcasting. A better method is to sow with the help of an implement called the seed drill. A seed drill is a funnel-shaped container with long tubes that can be attached to the plow while sowing, adding manure and fertilizer. A young plant needs adequate amounts of nutrients for its proper growth. These are provided in the form of manure and fertilizers. Manure and fertilizers are the substances which are added to the soil to provide nutrients for a healthy growth of plants. Due to continuous growing of crops, crop cycle, the soil becomes deficient in nutrients. The process of replenishing the soil with nutrients is known as manuring. Manure is a natural substance obtained from the decomposition of plant and animal waste. Sometimes manure is not sufficient to provide the required amounts of nutrients. To supply more quantity of a particular nutrient, fertilizers are used. Fertilizers are chemical substances which are rich in a few nutrients. Some common fertilizers are urea, potash and phosphates. Differences between fertilizer and manure. Serial number. Fertilizer. Manure. 1. A fertilizer is a chemical compound. Manure is a natural substance. 2. Fertilizer is prepared in factories. Manure is prepared by the decomposition of animal and plant wastes in the fields. 3. It does not provide any humus to the soil. It provides lot of humus to the soil. 4. They are very rich in plant nutrients. They are relatively less rich in plant nutrients. Excessive use of fertilizers makes the soil less fertile and is also a source of water pollution. After growing many crops in the same field, the level of nutrients in the soil decreases. The use of manure improves the soil texture and also its water retaining capacity. Another method for replenishing the soil nutrients is crop rotation. In crop rotation, 2 or more crops are grown on the same land alternately. For example, after growing wheat, the soil is low on nitrogen nutrients. This can be remedied by growing peas or gram. Plants which replenish the soil in nitrogen nutrients. Advantages of manure. Enhances the water holding capacity of the soil. Makes the soil porous. Improves texture of the soil. Increases the number of microbes in the soil. Irrigation. Water is one of the most important requirements for agriculture. It is essential for the proper growth and development of flowers, fruits and seeds. The plants absorb water and minerals and fertilizers dissolved in it through roots. The process of supplying water to the crops at different intervals is known as irrigation. The time and frequency of irrigation varies from season to season, soil to soil and crop to crop. The methods of irrigation can be broadly categorized into traditional and modern methods. The traditional methods include canal irrigation, furrow irrigation, chain, pump, pulley system, moat, dhekli and water wheel, rahat. The water available in wells, lakes and canals are lifted up by different methods in different regions. For taking it to the field, cattle or human labor is used in these methods. These methods are very cheap but are comparatively less efficient. At some places pumps are used for pulling water. These pumps run on diesel, biogas, electricity and solar energy. Modern methods include sprinkler and drip irrigation. These methods help us to use water economically and efficiently. 1. Sprinkler system. Irrigation sprinklers are used on farms, golf courses and yards to provide water to vegetation and plants. These sprinklers rotate in all directions to provide an even supply of water. 2. Drip irrigation. Drip irrigation, also known as trickle irrigation or micro-irrigation or localized irrigation, is an irrigation method which saves water and fertilizers by allowing water to drip slowly to the roots of plants, either onto the soil surface or directly onto the root zone, through a network of valves, pipes, tubes and emitters. It is done with the help of narrow tubes which deliver water directly to the base of the plant. It is the best technique for watering fruit plants, gardens and trees. Water is not wasted at all. It is a boon in regions where availability of water is poor. Weed control. The undesirable plants which grow along with the crop are known as weeds. Amaranthus, wild oat, grass and bathua are examples of weeds. The removal of weeds is called weeding. These plants should be removed as they compete with the crop for air, sunlight and nutrients, hence affecting the growth of the crops. The best time for the removal of weeds is before they produce flowers and seeds. Weeds can be uprooted by hand or removed with the help of implements. Weeds can be uprooted manually or by using implements like trowel, hoe or harrow to remove them. This process is time-consuming and may lead to accidental removal of desired crops. The implements used also require regular maintenance. Weeds are also controlled by using certain chemicals called weedicides which kill only the weed plants. The animals which damage crops are known as pests and these can be destroyed by chemicals called pesticides. However, the disadvantages of using these chemicals are significant. Contact with them can affect the health of farmers. Traces of these poisons may remain in the crops and can be harmful to the people who consume them. Harvesting. The process of cutting of crops when it is ready is known as harvesting. Harvesting can be done with hands using a sickle. It can also be done with the help of a machine called the harvester. In harvested crop, the grain seeds are separated from the chaff by the process known as threshing. Threshing is carried out with the help of a machine called combine. The separation of grain and chaff can also be done by winnowing. Storage. Freshly harvested crops have moisture. They are dried properly so that they can be stored for longer time. The crops should be safe from moisture, insects, rats and microorganisms. The crops are dried in sun and stored in jute bags or metallic bins. On a large scale, the grains are stored in silos and food from animals. Rearing animals on a large scale for food and other useful things is called animal husbandry. Meat is obtained from sheep, goat, lamb, hen, etc. Fish and other water animals such as shrimps, prawns, lobsters, etc. are also consumed by humans. Dairy products such as milk, curd, cheese, butter, etc. are obtained from animals such as cow, buffalo, goat, camel, etc. Eggs are obtained from hen, duck, goose, etc. The practice of rearing honeybee for honey is known as apiculture. In a nutshell, science or practice of farming, including the growing of crops and rearing of animals, is called agriculture. Kharif crops are grown in the rainy season and harvested in October. Rabi crops are grown in winter and harvested in April. For growing crops, farmers perform a series of activities known as agricultural practices. Soil preparation involves plowing and leveling. Sowing of seeds should be done at proper distance and depth. Manure and fertilizers are the substances which are added to the soil to provide nutrients to ensure the healthy growth of plants. Methods of irrigation can be broadly categorized into traditional and modern methods.